What is the worst Persona game? It's a debate as old as time, or, well, 1996. Some might say Persona 3. They'd be wrong. Others might say Persona Q. Closer, but still not quite there. Maybe Tactica? Well, I'm not actually sure on that one. I haven't played it yet, but I refuse to believe it could be worse than this one. I'm of course talking about Persona 5 dancing, and by association, Persona 3 dancing. Now, Persona is no stranger to spin-offs. We've had dungeon crawlers, fighting games, even a warrior-style game with Persona characters. And the thing is, all these games have one thing in common. They all have a soul. Despite being so far removed from the core Persona formula, they still feel like Persona games. There's so much love poured into them that they feel like actual extensions of the Persona story. And one of the best examples of that? Persona 4 Dancing All Night, Persona rhythm game released back in 2015. Now, a Persona rhythm game just kind of feels like a no-brainer. When a series has music as iconic as Persona's, it was only a matter of time before we got a rhythm game. And Dancing All Night really nails it. It could have just been a cheap cash grab. Toss some Persona songs into a Miku game, swap out the models, and boom, Persona dancing. But instead, they made a real-life video game. It's got a full 10-hour story mode, new characters, arcs for both new and returning cast members, a solid track list, a hidden prequel chapter, and an absurd amount of character customization. The game set a few months after Persona 4 Golden, and Dancing All Night follows Rise Kujikawa as she prepares for her big comeback into the idol world. She's getting the investigation team back together to perform at the Love Meets Bonds festival, but things quickly go off the rails and a strange rumor starts circulating. If you go to the Love Meets Bonds website and watch the video that plays at midnight, you'll be transported to the other side and never wake up. Sounds pretty familiar, right? Except this time it's not the Midnight Channel they're going to, it's the Midnight Stage. It's a strange liminal space ruled by a mysterious voice who asks victims to join their bonds. And here's the big twist. The team can summon their personas, but they can't fight. The only way to reach people in this world is through dance. Yes, I know it sounds absurd, but what's wild is the game actually commits to this premise. The dancing isn't just a gimmick here, it's a metaphor. In the world of Dancing All Night, dance becomes a form of communication, a way to connect with the people who have been consumed by their own emotional pain. And it's cheesy, sure, but it's surprisingly earnest. The story leans a lot into the idea of identity. It goes over a lot of the struggles to remain authentic in an industry that's so obsessed with image. The girls in the game struggle a lot to balance themselves with what their fans expect of them, so much to the point where they begin hiding and running from their true selves simply to play into what their fans and agency expects of them. It also fits extremely well into the main story of Persona 4. Persona 4 at its core is all about identity. This game just moves it from high school to the idol scene. Kanami Mashita, one of the new main characters, is also way more likable than I expected her to be. Most of the game actually kind of centers around her. And even Rise gets some real development here. Her inner conflict about returning to showbiz and rediscovering her voice actually carries some serious weight. There's character growth, actual stakes, and a sense of finality to the investigation team's story here. It's an actual game, and it feels like the last chapter of Persona 4. Yes, a weird, dance-filled, neon-lit chapter, sure, but one with some real heart. And the gameplay is basically what you'd expect from a rhythm game. It's colorful, fast-paced, maybe a little clunky on controller, but it's carried by some fantastic remixes of Persona 4's already incredible soundtrack. But to wrap this rant up, it's a fantastic game, one I actually hadn't played until recently. I've been working through all the spin-offs for another video I'm doing on ranking every Persona spin-off, stay tuned for that one. And during that is when I got to play this game for the first time. I'd originally skipped over it as I had played the other two games and basically just expected this one to be the same, but I was extremely pleasantly surprised. But now on to the real meat and potatoes, Persona 5 dancing. Now, first things first, Persona 3 dancing and Persona 5 dancing are literally the same game. They are not sequels. They were developed simultaneously, released on the same day, and even share the same engine, UI, and core assets. From the moment you boot them up, you're met with the same menus, the same tutorial, and the exact same gameplay loop. The rhythm system is basically identical. Press the buttons to the beat using a radio layout that's copy-pasted from Persona 4. The only real difference is the cast and the soundtrack. You're basically buying one game for the price of two, but still only getting one game's worth of content. They're parallel products, not complementary experiences. The biggest issue here, though, is that there's literally just nothing going on in these games. Us Persona fans love the franchise for its amazing balance of style and substance. Flashy visuals paired with deep and powerful themes. But these games, they just ditch the substance completely. The story, if you can even call it that, is that the Velvet Room twins summon the cast into a magical dream to compete in a dance-off. That's it. There's no conflict, no stakes, no reason. The characters don't even remember it afterwards. Everyone's memory just gets wiped, so any little bit of growth that's made or knowledge the characters learn about each other is completely pointless. Nothing carries over, so nobody grows or changes. There's no plot and no stakes. The characters don't grow. They're just there to say some quirky lines and dance in some DLC outfits. And the worst part of these games is this sorry excuse for a story mode. You unlock social events, which is a generous term for dialogue scenes that feel like a Persona fanfic written by ChatGPT. And you know how people always slander Futaba all the time and says she always speaks in lead speak and makes video game references all the time? Well, in this game, it's actually true. But it's not just her. Basically, every character is just a shell of their character in their actual game. All their dialogue is fueled by the character's archetype and the stereotypes they fill, and that's it. It is super obvious that these games were written by completely different people than the originals. Hell, it feels like they're from a different planet. Persona 5 is definitely worse with this though, maybe because the characters already have some extremely exaggerated traits, but 3 still has the same issues, no doubt. And all these scenes are barely tethered to reality. Even the writing knows nothing matters, so they don't try. You could swap in any line from a mobile gacha game and nobody would notice. And the music and remixes are kinda all over the place. I can think of one standout personally, and it's the Hideki Naganuma remix of When the Moon's Reaching Out Stars in Persona 3 Dancing. But that's basically it. The rest of the songs are just There's some more decent songs from the original games, but guess what? They're all stuck behind a paywall, which is such a tragedy because Persona 4 Dancing had some of my favorite songs in the entire series. The Specialist remix, Dance, and there's even an Akira Yamaoka remix of Time to Make History. The newer games also have like this music video-like songs where it's just normal gameplay, but it's a pre-rendered music video playing in the background. These are fine, but first of all, they're extremely distracting by flashing colors and shit in your face. And secondly, I would rather just have some well-choreographed dance rather than this weird shit. There's also a song in Persona 5 Dancing that's literally just the credits. Like, I'm so serious. You're watching me play a rhythm game while the genuine credits for Persona 5 is playing on the screen. I would rather have had nothing at all. This song right here might be the biggest slap in the face in this entire duology. And what makes this so frustrating is that there was so much potential here. Persona 3 is all about mortality, loss, and the power of memory. Persona 5 is about rebellion, identity, and breaking free from control. And you're telling me the writers couldn't build anything interesting around these themes in a music game? No character introspection, no Velvet Room relations, just, hey Makoto, here's a swimsuit and a glow stick. Even if they didn't go with Persona 4's idea of having a full narrative, why not lean into the whole idea of the dance competition? We hear from the Velvet Room sisters that what they're doing is a competition, but there is no actual competition. Why not have the characters interact like they do in Q2? Have it fully voiced with animated characters of 5 and 3 talking together? It just seems like such a missed opportunity. And the worst part is that we could just excuse this as a bad game and move on, say something like they did the best with what they couldn't have done any more, except they literally did like 3 years earlier. Now, to conclude, these games are fine at an extremely surface level. They look nice, the gameplay's fun, they're flashy, and they have some decent music, but there's just literally no reason to play either one of these games over another, much less over Persona 4 Dancing. They just feel lazy, and charging almost $60 for both of them on release is just absolutely fucking absurd. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like on it. I'd really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. And thank you guys so much for the support on the last video. When I was working on it, I was really just expecting it to totally flop and do garbage. I didn't really expect my silly little Persona video to get almost 5,000 views, so I'm super blown away there. And on another note, me and my good friend Jonah Killsit also collaborated to make a Discord server for our channels recently. So if you want to chat with me or get more updates on videos and stuff, check the link in the description. But that's pretty much all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.